beautiful little schnitzels here. So in the meantime, what we are going to do is, I'm going to move this over here now so you can see it. So in the meantime, we are going to make the hollandaise. All right, are you familiar with hollandaise? Yeah, are you successful with hollandaise? So la la, okay. So for hollandaise, what I really like to do is I like to take a decent bottle of dry wine, pour it in a pot. I add a little bit of onion. It can be shallots or, you know, it can be red onion, whatever you have. Also like stems of green onion, you know, don't worry too much. Traditionally, they use tarragon. Okay, but if you don't have tarragon and you have basil or some beautiful parsley stems, use that. It is totally fine. And then you reduce this down with your herbs and your onion by half. So when we're talking about reducing, you start off with 1 liter and you end up with 500 milliliters. You put this in a jar or whatever and keep it in your refrigerator. It will stay there forever. It just gets more acidic and more into a vinegary flavor, but you can just keep going with it. So if you love your brunches and you love to make hollandaise, this is really nice. You know, if not, you can just squeeze it in a little pasta dish with chicken or whatever. It always adds a nice flavor and a little touch of cream later on. So, so while the schnitzels are doing its thing here, I'll just put this over 1 second. We are going to make our hollandaise. Okay, so and for that, I already added the white wine reduction into here. Okay, so when you are making like something over a hot water bath, okay, especially with eggs, and we use this to make ice creams and things like that. You want to make sure you always add some sort of liquid, because if you just put your egg yolks on there, it will go into a scrambled egg situation in no time. So even if you just add a little drop of water in here, it will help the egg from not scrambling. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move you here now over here a little bit better. Okay, can you see this now? Yeah, can you see this pot? Yeah, can you see it? Okay, perfect. So, and we are going to mix this up and just wait until it gets nice and foamy. This is probably really, really fast. And I'm using the same water, what I'm going to use for the poached egg, so that there's not too much going on here on your stove top. You don't need like 30 different things. And you can see the egg is already getting nice and foamy. We also want hot butter. So what you see up on top is like the protein, like what we usually take off, so we have completely clarified butter. I don't think it's necessary, but like in some Michelin star kitchens, they take this all off and then you have pure clarified butter. You can also cook with that to very high smoke points, so nothing burns. And then we are just keep on going here with our egg until it gets to about 74 degrees Celsius. And I always say by around 76, it starts to scramble. And this goes really fast because I only use 2 egg yolks. Sometimes when we get ready for brunch, we have like 12 egg yolks in here and you are beating like a crazy person in the morning, you know, and it gets really intense. Okay.
Doreen, is there a specific wine that you would recommend?
Like a dry wine, like dry wine. Doesn't need to be expensive. Get something like between $12 to $15. Don't go like super high. And or you have some leftover wine, you know, and that got a little bit into the vinegary thing. Or you know what I sometimes also do? I add a little bit of like Prosecco or something, and that I don't reduce. This is almost like making a Sauvignon in a way. You know, it's kind of the same idea. So you see how nice, hang on, how nice and foamy this is right now, right? Yeah. So this is the time where we are going to add our, let me see here, our hot butter. Okay, so There we go. Now, we call this emulsification. This is when things get a little complicated sometimes because the fat of the egg yolk and the fat of the butter, they don't like each other. They want to split up. They are not coming together, and if you add this too fast, it could happen that your whole hollandaise is splitting. So if you are worried, so I go right now drop by drop. This is the same idea when you make mayonnaise. You have egg yolks and then you use canola oil, same thing. So you go really, really slowly in the beginning to make sure it's binding. If this will split up, you will see it's not going to be thick anymore. You see right now it's getting nice and thick and thick. Some people like a super thick hollandaise and some people don't. If yours gets too thick and you don't like it, just add a little drop of warm water to it and it's going to be really nice.
When you get a second, can you show everyone the type of whisk you're using? I think there's a question about it. Yeah, okay.
That whisk, I really love this whisk. It's one of my favorites that traveled from Berlin with me. There's definitely some kitchen equipment I cannot live without. And I've seen this here. This is one of my favorites too. This is like a little spatula, offset spatula. You can glaze cake with that. You can just flip little things over. You can also use it as a tasting spoon. So this one is really nice. If somebody is super into cooking, this is a great utensil to have. Yeah, so now when you have the hollandaise, please serve it immediately, okay? This is like a safety hazard because of the salmonella in the egg. Sometimes, you know, you really want to make sure you serve this really, really quickly. So we have this here now. So we will taste it with like lemon juice and salt if it's nice. And then now we are going to go to poaching an egg. And this is where things get also very interesting sometimes with poaching the egg. Can you see the water I have here? Do you see that water? So when I poach eggs, I never want that water to boil. So you want that water to simmer because when it boils, for me, I feel like
Oh, no.
it will explode your egg. So have it on like a nice simmer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm creating a well. So and then I let go and then I'm plopping the egg right into the well and the egg white is going to form around the yolk so it will stay together. Okay, so I'm going to set you down for 1 second to grab those eggs. And when you make those poached eggs, so crack them beforehand in little bowls, little ramekins. This is easier. Don't push them here on your pot and then crack them in. This is set up for disaster. So make it a bit easier for you. Just have it ready. And again, I'm going to make this well, and then I'm going to plop them in, and they are going in there just like that, and they are turning and turning and turning. Okay? So depending on how long you wanna, what kind of an egg you like, you could also easily touch them then. After like 2-3 minutes, I have this little utensil here. You're going to take it and then you touch the egg a little bit and then you can touch and feel how they feel. If they're like soft, if they're medium. And for me, it's always important that the egg white is cooked. There is nothing worse than opening the egg and the egg white is still glibbery, and this is like something I do not enjoy. That's why I keep the temperature very low so that it allows the egg white and the egg yolk to cook kind of evenly and in a nice way. Okay, so now you see. So of course, when you are cooking, let's say you are cooking 10 eggs, okay? The egg is cold. The egg is your temperature from your refrigerator. So the temperature in the pot will drop immediately. So you have to push the temperature a little bit up so your pot starts, or like your water starts to simmer a little bit more. Right now I'm only cooking 2 eggs, so the temperature will not be so much affected. So keep that in mind. Let's say if you have a party of like 5 people and they all want 2 eggs, make sure you push the temperature a little up. Don't let it hang there because it will take forever until it will heat up. Okay.
Okay.
Also,
I have a question about adding white vinegar to the water.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should you or shouldn't you or?
Yeah. Use white vinegar. Absolutely. This is important. Otherwise, the egg will just fall apart. It will hold it together. But again, don't use too much because again, you don't want that the water tastes too vinegary. Just like the ratio I gave you, 200 milliliters to a liter is usually that works for me. But futz around with it. And I mean, white vinegar is here perfect. Don't use your nice balsamico. There is no place for it, okay? Just like, don't do it. I mean, some people like, and I think some people like to poach their eggs in red wine. So they turn a little pinkish. You can also, if you want to futz around, you have some beet juice floating around nobody liked. Poach your egg in the beet juice and have some caviar and some blinis with it and some sour cream. You have a lot of options here. Let's have a look. Let's pull out that egg and see what's going on. All right, you see when I touch it, it's a little spongy. So I'm going to leave it in here because like I said, I like it nice and medium there. So now we are assembling our dish now. Okay, so. Of course, like I said in the beginning, you see these beautiful little green onions here now. So we will take a plate. I take one of our little cakes here. Again, I don't want this too acidic, that hollandaise, because our cranberries are going to be acidic too. So just be very careful. Keep this a little bit on the buttery side. Okay, then we are going to put this on top. And then we are going to check on our egg. See, I like it like this. So you see here, and then you can just take off this little part. And I have it on a little paper towel. So you don't put the vinegar water on. Then you're going to add a little bit of salt. Don't let it be without it. It needs it, and a little bit of that pepper. And then very gently, you're going to flop it like this and plop it on like that. You see? Et voila. And then you're going to finish this with your hollandaise. Schwuppdiwupp. And then we are going to take our little schnitzel, putting our little schnitzel here as well, next to our egg. And if you wish, you can also add that. So you see, that's your dish, and we are